What's up, everybody? Welcome back to BigTrainHawaii's YouTube channel, and welcome back to the layout. Well, first off, Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you guys had a beautiful holiday season. Hope you guys also had an awesome new year. We're going into 2026 with some new stuff, as well as I just want to do a little quick recap on 2025. 2025 was supposed to be the year of scenery, and I did accomplish some scenic stuff. Number one was my hillside scenery. I was actually really happy with how this turned out, and there's still some work to be done on it, but for the most part, it's kind of complete. But it's also given me the chance to see how to lay down ground cover, how to play with the rock molds, and also to kind of fine tune and detail a few other pieces on the layout. Second piece of scenery that was done was Bag Corner. Bag's Corner was an afterthought, but it really worked out really nice and for my favor. And it worked out really well because I'm using everything that I've learned from that project, and I'm going to be using that to be the base for my new scenic project that I'm working on in the back, which I'll get to in a sec. Around mid 2025, I would say, I kind of took a break from this and just did other stuff outside of the train layout. And then coming into the late fall and the winter, I decided to get back to working on the layout. And that's when I came up with the idea for this. But I also wanted to get started on another project that's on the other side of the layout, which I'll show in a bit. So going into 2026, it's definitely going to be a year where I want to focus more on making more stuff work for the train layout, but also it's going to be the year where I just kind of experiment and try some different techniques and different stuff to just bring more projects or more fun stuff to the train layout. So I'm definitely looking forward to what's going to happen in 2026. I don't have no set plans, but what I do have in mind for what's going to happen in 2026 will be fun, and I know you guys are going to be liking what I do. So let me get the camera turned around so you guys can see what I've been up to and give you guys a little bit of glimpse to what is happening for this year. So thanks you guys for clicking the video, and thank you guys again for watching. What you guys are looking at is my new rock cut scene that was inspired by watching old Norfolk and Western steam footage of trains passing through the mountains between Roanoke and Bluefield, Virginia on Norfolk and Western's Christiansburg grade. The original plan for this side of the layout was to be a continuation of my rockwork scenes, and I wanted to sort of include a section where I would include some still water and have a little scene where there's a sight barrier of trees that block the view of my shelves if I wanted to get shots from behind my water tower. That idea unfortunately came with some obstacles that I really was not wanting to take on, so what I decided to do was to make a sight barrier instead, and this sort of gave life to the side and really brought the whole rock cut scene to life. Looking for inspiration, I definitely went to my Norfolk and Western videos and looking at all the different areas that I wanted to model on the N&W. The line between Roanoke and Bluefield on the Christiansburg district really was inspiring for me to start getting this rock cut scene together, and I immediately started by building up the first piece of the rock cut scene, which was the black panel that you guys saw right there. Cutting 1-inch strips from the solid cardboard, I immediately began building it, and I had to make sure that my articulators will be able to pass through the seam because I wanted to get it as tight as possible, but not to obstruct the articulation of any of my big steam locomotives. The photograph that you guys see here was taken at Eggleston, Virginia, and this photo is going to help me with deciding the colors as well as how I was going to build my rocky peaks. Using the same lattice weaving patterns as well as creating some obstruct and pretty outrageous protruding rock pieces, these help me with not only giving the hillside a little bit of angular rock cuts, but to also give that look that they were protruding over the tracks. The rock cut was also going to feature some modular rock cut pieces that I could take in and out of the layout, just so that way I could detail them outside of the layout. This was a much more better scenario than instead of building an entire framework up against the wall area. And also too, when it came to the plastering as well as the ground cover, it would save me a whole lot of trouble and not creating a whole mess on the tabletop. After work was complete on the second rock cut piece, I had to make sure that these rock cuts would not interfere with my articulateds. So I pressed my Y6B into duty and to see if it would hit any of the rock cuts, and it passed with flying colors. The final piece to my rock cut scene was to create a sight barrier that would block off the back half of the layout and the freight yard. Like the last rock cut that I built, this one was going to be modular. I wanted the peak on this one to be a little bit more taller, so I went with 20 inches. And scale inches, that is about 80 feet. Built just like my hillside scenes as well as my other rock cuts, this took formation pretty quickly, and I was really happy with how it turned out. This peak particular is a lot more flat than usual, but it's okay. We're going to be dressing it up a lot more, and hopefully it'll blend in real nicely with everything that I have planned for it. As for the scenic barriers, I'm just gonna probably paint them flat black and then just let it go and just let the scenery kind of overshadow everything and just hide the fact that this is a sight barrier. The one thing that this area is missing is a tunnel portal. I do have my eye on a few tunnel portals that I've seen online, but that'll come later on. But for now, I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I can't wait to see how it looks all scenic up, and I know you guys can't wait too. While building the rock cut, I was also working on the station platform. I decided to make an extension onto the station platform by using some half-inch ply glued together with a quarter-inch ply as the base to raise the platform to be level with the half-inch ply that has the giant hole cut in the middle of it. I also decided to start my road work. This road work that you see here is actually made from cardboard cutouts. I used some blue masking tape to mask off the areas and to figure out placement for all my buildings. The roads were cut to 12 feet in scale inches, which in scale is about 6 inches. And then for the town area, I made it a little wider to accommodate my sidewalks. So you add 6 inches to the road and then inch and a half sidewalks on each side. You have a total of 9 inches in total for the road. My plan for the road is that I'm going to be using quarter-inch plywood to be the base, and then I'm going to use quarter-inch plywood again to be used for my sidewalks. I'm going to be weathering and detailing the roadways as well as being able to fit a few pieces in between the rails to continue the roadway across the tracks. As the roadway progresses, the station platform will also be receiving a similar treatment. It's going to be painted and weathered and detailed. I am debating on whether to repaint the station still, but that'll be for a future update, and I'll let you guys know when I decide that. So this is not in the process, but I want to let you guys know what I have planned for the entire back half of the layout. The plan is to make this whole back half of the layout kind of look industrial. I want to incorporate some building flats that I came across online and kind of continue the hillside scene that I started with my rock cut and sort of have it be the base for the continuation of my town area. This whole back section of the layout definitely has not received a whole lot of attention as far as scenes, but I'm hoping that this year will be the start where I begin doing a lot more scenicking stuff on the project and being able to continue on the look of the town area that you see here into the rest of the back part of the layout. I will be trying out some new scenic building techniques, as well as being able to experiment with other forms of scenery base. So this will be a good starting point, but for now, there is really no plan. But what I do have in mind for the future will be nice, so that way I can finally have this whole back section of the layout dressed up and looking like it's part of the layout, instead of an area that looks like it's just a place to have all my trains stored on the back, while the rest of the layout takes up all the attention. So we'll see what happens. I'll probably get to it later this year, but no guarantees. That about wraps up this little layout update video, you guys. I hope you guys like the work that I've done so far. I just want to take a moment and discuss a little bit about the plans about 2026. So for 2026, I have a resolution, and my resolution this year is I'm not going to buy any used trains. I'm going to be mostly concentrating on pre-orders. I'm going to be concentrating on my scenery work for this layout. Um, I will be purchasing supplies for this, but other than that, I'm not going to buy no trains. I'm not going to buy no engines, no rolling stock, except for worrying about pre-orders and parts that I need to work on my trains. And I'm going to hold true to this, so we'll see. I'll let you guys know at the end of this year if I stay true to that. But yeah, but I might make an exception for one engine, but it has to be something that I must really want. But if I break this resolution, then you guys will know. But I will try. I will try my damn hardest to keep to my resolution, but we'll see. To wrap up this video, we're just gonna run the trains through the new scenes. I hope you guys enjoyed this little layout update, and stay tuned for more in the future. And also stay tuned for other exciting videos that I have coming out for this year. Until next time, this is Big Train. I'll see you guys in the next video.